Hi everybody, this is Dan Stolebarger and welcome to this week's KFIR Middle East Update. It's the week of September 1st. So before we jump in, just a reminder, go to our website, holygroundexplorations.com, and there you can access the PowerPoint that accompanies this video. Most of the time, we're unable to cover everything. That's why we want to steer you to the PowerPoint, as well as pictures make a big difference. So what's going on this week in the Middle East? Israel has recently put the international community on notice, warning that a failure to stop the Iranian push into Syria will likely result in Israeli military action. Iran, on the other hand, recently has denied a U.S. request for more vigilant enforcement of the Iranian nuclear deal. And experts wonder, is this going to be a deal killer? Will Trump exit from that pact? I mean, these are turbulent times that we're living in. In a major shakeup of political alliances, Hamas has announced that it's now receiving major funding from, guess who? Yeah, that's right, Iran, while Turkish President Erdogan has visited Ramallah to strengthen Turkey's ties with the Palestinian Authority. Saudi Arabia, on the other hand, is sponsoring 500 families of Palestinian martyrs, quote unquote, to make their pilgrimage to Mecca. And finally, what was the results of this last attempt with Jared Kushner and Greenblatt in Israel? But the Trump team now is saying that they are in negotiations with Netanyahu to renew talks of moving the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem. So, I mean, all of this is like, what a Middle Eastern soup we have here. You throw in all these elements that we've just talked about, and you put it under fire, and it begins to just boil over, and that's what we're looking at. Well, a couple specific things that we'll talk about. Again, make sure you go to the website and see these things. Judea and Samaria, in the midst of all of this two-state solution, addressing a crowd of several thousand, Bibi Netanyahu vowed that Judea and Samaria, the biblical heartland of the Jewish people that was liberated during the Six-Day War, now listen to this, he says, will forever belong to the state of Israel. There'll be no more uprooting of settlements in the land of Israel. It's been proven that it doesn't help in regards to peace. When we've uprooted settlements, what did we get? We received missiles. It will not happen anymore. We will deepen our roots, build and strengthen our settlements. Interesting, because one of the negotiation points, or the demands of the Palestinians, is that Judea and Samaria be entirely handed over to the Palestinians. So I don't see much wiggle room in Netanyahu's quotes here. I think it's important to take a look at the humanitarian side of Israel. This is called Tikkun Olam, which you know is a Hebrew word which means to fix broken things or to repair the world. Did you know that Israel was one of the first countries to send a team of disaster management experts, mental health experts, and engineers to Houston after Hurricane Harvey hit last week? Even though it's just the size of New Jersey, Israel has achieved claim all over the world with its humanitarian responses to natural disasters. Again, the concept known in Israel is Tikkun Olam from Isaiah 1:16 and 17. Devote yourself to justice, aid the wrong, uphold the rights of the orphan, and defend the cause of the widows. This value permeates Israeli society. Tikkun Olam, repair the world, fix the world. And we know that Jesus proclaimed Tikkun Olam when he gave his mission statement on Nazareth, when he said, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me to," and then you fill in the blanks from Isaiah 61, but you can summarize it by saying, "I've come to fix broken things." And then we've got the issue with North Korea. France is interesting. This is not rhetoric from the Trump folks or even Israel. We're looking at Paris. France's foreign minister warned on Friday that North Korea could have the capacity to deliver a nuclear strike on the United States and even Europe within months. He goes on to say, in a few months, that will be a reality. At that moment, when it has the capacity to hit the US, even Europe, Japan, China, etc., things will be very explosive. You think about that, in a couple months? Where did they get this upgraded technology? Some point to the bonds that are being formed between North Korea and Iran. And then we have the Hezbollah. I'm going to let you read that article on your own, both with Nasrallah. He's calling for the Lebanon to oust Israel from the Golan, from the Shiva Farms area, the northern Galilee area. Once again, it's just happening all around, and we need to be aware of the situation. I found this article very interesting, PA Incitement. Did you know that the Palestinian Educational Ministry has granted any student who was arrested for throwing rocks or stones or Molotov cocktails at Israeli vehicles passing grades? In other words, this was an article that I read. One time we stopped a terrorist who were throwing Molotov cocktails, took him in for interrogation, where we found out that he had decided to carry out the attack because that morning he had an exam at school, and it turns out that for them it's customary that someone who's arrested for carrying out an attack on the day of an exam is to receive a passing grade automatically. It's mind-boggling. And then I'll stop on a positive note. Friends of Zion, this is super cool. The Jerusalem Prayer Team is one of Facebook's largest prayer pages, and it's just passed a landmark 28 million members. One of the largest social media efforts in fighting anti-Semitism. It's a Christian-run page. It's dedicated to praying for the sake of the Jewish people and for the peace of Jerusalem. Let me encourage you to do just that, to pray for the peace of Jerusalem. The last couple articles I'll have you read on your own. This one's very troubling to read about the Islamic indoctrination into U.S. schools, grades 5 to 12, and then also what's going on with Islam in China. So our quote of the week, as we conclude in prayer, is don't be wise in words, but be wise in deeds. God bless you all. Till next week, Shabbat Shalom.